discuss one of the basic quality tools in TQM. Histogram. Histogram is a type of bar chart that displays a set of continuous data that you can use to evaluate the distribution or variation of data over a range. For example, weight of length of time, size, and age. Histograms are valuable tool in quality control because they can be used to quickly and easily identify patterns and trends in data. This information can be then used to improve processes and products and to ensure that products meet customer requirements. Histograms are one of the 7 quality tools, which are a set of simple and effective tools that can be used to collect, analyze, and interpret data to improve quality. William Playfair was the Scottish economist, inventor, and polymath who was the first to use histogram. He favored a display utilizing a separation between bars throughout his 1786 epochal work, The Commercial and Political Atlas. Histograms can be used in quality control for a variety of purposes, including identifying process improvement opportunities by looking at the distribution of data in a histogram. Quality professionals can identify areas where the process is not performing as expected. Determining pattern of variation. Histograms can be used to identify patterns of variation in data. To determine if an existing process or a new process is meeting design specification by comparing the distribution of data from the current process of the desired distribution. Quality professionals can determine if the process is meeting design specifications. Measure if a process improvement or change in a process is effective by comparing the distribution of data, the current process to the distribution of data from the previous process. Quality professionals can measure the effectiveness of a process improvement or change. When to use histogram. The histogram graph is used under certain conditions. They are: the data should be numerical. A histogram is used to check the shape of the data distribution. Used to check whether the process changes from one period to another. Used to determine whether the output is different when it involves 2 or more processes. Used to analyze whether the given process meets the customer requirements. The histogram can be used to represent these different types of distributions. The different types of a histogram are uniform histogram, symmetric histogram, bimodal histogram, and probability histogram. Uniform histogram. A uniform distribution reveals that the number of classes is too small and each class has the same number of elements. It may involve distribution that has several peaks. Symmetric histogram. A symmetric histogram is also called a bell-shaped histogram. When you draw the vertical line down the center of the histogram and the 2 sides are identical in size and shape, the histogram is said to be symmetric. The diagram is perfectly symmetric if the right portion of the image is similar to the left half. The histograms that are not symmetric are known as skewed. Bimodal histogram. If a histogram has 2 peaks, it is said to be bimodal. Bimodality occurs when the dataset has observation on 2 different kinds of individual or combined groups if the centers of the 2 separate histograms are far enough to the variability in both the datasets. Probability histogram. A probability histogram shows a pictorial representation of a discrete probability distribution. It consists of a rectangle centered on every value of x, and the area of each rectangle is proportional to the probability of the corresponding value. The probability histogram diagram is begun by selecting the classes. The probabilities of each outcome are the heights of the bars of the histogram.
According to the BM Book, Guide 6 edition, a scatter diagram is a graph that shows the relationship between 2 variables. Scatter diagrams can show a relationship between an element of a process, environment, or activity on one axis and the quality defect on the other axis. The scatter diagram was first introduced in 1833 by English scientist John Frederick Herschel in his study of orbits of double stars. Later, in 1886, it gained broader recognition thanks to Francis Galton, a Victorian-era polymath who popularized it and introduced the statistical concept of correlation. One of the primary benefits of using scatter diagrams is their ability to reveal relationships between variables. For instance, if the data points from an upward sloping pattern, it suggests a positive correlation, meaning that as one variable increases, the other tends to increase as well. Conversely, a downward sloping pattern shows a negative correlation, indicating that as one variable increases, the other decreases. If the points are randomly scattered with no discernible pattern, there may be no correlation between the variables. By visually presenting this relationship, scatter plots allows us to make quick interpretations and formulate hypotheses about the data. There are three main types of scatter diagrams. Number 1. Positive correlation. The points slope upward, showing that as one variable increases, the other also increases. For example, more study hours lead to higher test scores. For number 2, negative correlation. The points slope downward, indicating that as one variable increases, the other decreases. For example, increased exercise reduce body fat percentage. For number 3, no correlation. The points are scattered randomly, showing no relationship between the variables. For example, shoe size and intelligence have no connections. These types help identify relationships or lack thereof between two variables. Finally, scatter diagrams provide a straightforward visual summary that aids in decision making. Unlike complex statistical outputs, scatter plots are easily interpretable by a wide audience, from data analysis to business managers, enabling faster and more informed decisions. By presenting complex relationships in a clear, accessible format, scatter diagrams serve as a bridge between raw data and actionable insights, making them a staple in data-driven decision-making.
Control chart. So what exactly is a control chart? Imagine a control chart is a visual speedometer for your process. It shows you if your process is pressing along smoothly or if it's very of course. How does it work? Well, it plots data points over time and these points should ideally fall within a set of control limits. Think of these limits as the guardrails for your process. If most of your data points stay within this limit, it means your process is stable and predictable. But what if a data point strays outside these limits? That could signal a potential problem like a sudden shift in your process or a special cause of variation. By identifying these anomalies early on, we can take corrective actions to prevent defects and improve overall performance. Now, let's explore the 5 key types of control charts. These tools are essential for maintaining process stability and quality. First, we have X-bar charts. These charts help us understand if the average of a process is stable over time. Second, R charts and S charts are used to monitor process variability. R charts track the range of values within a sample, while S charts focus on the standard deviation. And third, P, N, and P charts are specifically designed for attributes data, such as the proportion of defective items. And lastly, pre-control charts are proactive approach to identify potential problems before they occur. By analyzing historical data, we can set up early warning system to prevent issues. Let's take a closer look at this IMR chart of pH. It's a power tool for monitoring and controlling a process. The top chart tracks individual pH measurements over time. The red line represents the upper control limit UCL, the green line is the central line CL, and the lower red line is the lower control limit LCL. The black dots are the actual pH measurements. Ideally, all points should fall within the control limits. However, we see a couple of points exceeding the UCL. This suggests that the process may have been out of control at those specific times. The bottom chart, called the moving range chart, monitors the variability of the process. It shows the difference between consecutive pH measurements. Again, the red line represents the control limits and the black dots are the calculated moving ranges. In this case, all points are within the control limits, indicating the variability of the process is stable. Based on this IMR chart, we can conclude that the pH process is not in a state of statistical control. The points outside the control limit suggest that there may be special causes affecting the process. It's crucial to investigate the special causes to identify and eliminate them. To truly understand the interfaces of our processes, we turn to two powerful tools, run charts and control charts. Run charts are like a snapshot of our process over time. They help us spot trends like a steady increase or decrease that might signal a change. Control charts, on the other hand, are more sophisticated. They use statistical limits to distinguish between normal everyday variation, common cause, and unusual unexpected variation, special cause. By monitoring these charts, we can quickly identify and address issues that could disrupt our process.
The 7 basic quality tools are fundamental methods for quality management and problem solving. They help in analyzing and improving processes to enhance quality in various industries. The first 7 basic quality tools is cause and effect diagram, or what we call fishbone or Ishikawa. It identifies potential causes of a problem by organizing them into categories, helping to determine the root cause. The second one is check sheet, a simple form for collecting and analyzing data in real time at the location where the data is generated. It's useful for tracking the frequency of issues. The third one is control chart, used to monitor a process over time and determine if it is in a state of statistical control. It shows variation within the process, indicating whether they are due to the common causes or unusual ones. The fourth one is histogram, a bar graph that shows the distribution of data over a continuous interval or a certain time period, highlighting patterns that may need attention. The fifth one is Patero chart, a bar graph that prioritizes the most significant factors in a dataset based on the 80/20 rule. It helps focus on the most critical issues affecting quality. The next one is scatter diagram. Displays the relationship between two variables to identify potential correlations or patterns, often used to find cause and effect relationship. Last one is flow chart, a visual representation of a process showing each step in sequence. It helps in understanding and analyzing the process flow, identifying bottlenecks or inefficiencies. These tools are often used together in quality control and continuous improvement efforts to diagnose, analyze, and improve processes.